Oh, hello there, yes. Well, the clocks went back. It's still bleeding dark. And I go to work tomorrow. Yeah, never mind. I get to have a shave and wash me hoodie, I suppose. Anyway, yesterday was the usual fine example of things going on in the world. We had the ongoing battle of idea in London, where a whole bunch of the usual right-wing pundits turn up and decide or debate, in inverted commas, the big idea that they have. And the idea that they have is that they want to keep the gravy train rolling. So they'll come out with any old tosh, provided it means a Liz Truss-style government that gives the rich the tax cuts they so richly deserve. And we've had some prime examples of, oh, look over there, of distraction, of course, this weekend, again from the usual punters with their idea. I had to smile at Belinda DeLucy on Reform UK channel, otherwise known as GB News. It's just a propaganda piece for that party, really, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to vote for the Conservatives, you have to vote for them as the only logical alternative. Yes, true Conservatives. Anyway, I love this, right? People on the right of politics, like myself, like Nigel, face such double standards. We don't get the same amount of freedom or privilege as those on the left do. Yeah, it must be awful for you to get invited on for those media appearances on such a regular basis when you have no electoral claims on anything whatsoever. Former MEP. Ooh. No. Look over there. Sorry. Anyway, talking of look over there, we've got Darren Grimes, a man who didn't actually manage to finish his education. No. Anyway, he's engaging in a classic bit of look over thereism, of course, because he's noticed that there are some brown people demonstrating, or people demonstrating on behalf of brown people elsewhere in the world, which, of course, doesn't go sit very well with his sensibilities. And anyway, he was moaning yesterday about the head of the National Trust claims a shift towards inclusivity is vital. On the contrary, the National Trust must anchor itself in the rich tapestry of our history, not wade in fleeting social currents. Yes, indeed, Darren, because you'd know all about history, wouldn't you, mate? I mean, I do like the fact that the rich tapestry of history is actually all about diversity. That's what that phrase means, Darren. Yeah, and of course, you know, in terms of our rich heritage, we have a long and rich heritage of beating up people, particularly our own Jewish population, and certain National Trust properties have some real ties to that. But Darren doesn't know that because, like I say, he didn't finish his education. Never mind, anyway, he later went on to misunderstand what the word infertada means, obviously, because, you know, it's a useful, look over there, it's a useful way of providing distraction by pretending that magically 100,000 people plus once again are on the streets of London, and they're all anti-Israel. To a man, woman, child, jack of them. Yes, indeed. You see, whenever you get four blokes outside a pub in London and Loza Fox rocks up to complain about drag queen Storia, they're concerned locals, but apparently magically 100,000 people, once again, third weekend in a row, on the streets of London, don't represent anybody at all. Yes, that's history for you. Yes, anyway, Calvin Robinson, that great man of God, says, we're flying 3,000 Afghans from Pakistan to the UK. We have not reached peak jihad yet. Yeah, as usual, spreading the love there. Oh, by the way, he's broke, so can you please send him some money? That would be appreciated. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Yes. You love it. I mean, there's nothing better to make the Jewish population in the UK feel safe than stirring up racial hatred. I can't think when in history stirring up racial hatred has ever had a negative effect on the Jewish population of the UK. Can you, Darren? No. Anyway, talking of people rocking up and concerned locals, we've got Loza Fox. Please do send him some money. He's unemployed as well. I wouldn't want to be a Jew in London in these times or in any city in the Western world. Did humanity learn nothing from the Holocaust? Yes, Loza, they learnt loads of things from the Holocaust, which is why we have human rights legislation. You know, that stuff that you're forever wailing about because it interferes with the capitalist machine exploiting people. Yeah? Yes, that's what they learnt. Okay? And if you wanted to look up your National Trustees style history, you could maybe read a bit about Winston Churchill, who was instrumental in bringing in human rights. on the back of the Holocaust. History once again. Odd the way that one works, doesn't it? And yes, again, stirring up racial hatred. We have definitely not been invaded, and the Great Replacement is absolutely 100% a conspiracy theory, which neatly steps us into that, we've just slipped into neo-Nazism and fascism, haven't we? Well done, Loza. I mean, why on earth would anyone accuse you of that when you come out with those kind of right-wing tropes? Unbelievable. And talking of such nasty racism, of course, we have Douglas Murray. Britain has already had a taste of intifada at Manchester Arena, on London Bridge twice, on Westminster Bridge, on our tubes and buses, and yet we allow this filth to be called for on our streets. Yes, indeed. Just machine gun them off the streets. That'll be a free speech thing, because you're really into that, aren't you, Dougie? Yeah? I wonder where he wrote that. Probably in New York again. Yes. And, just to stick the knife in, because I just don't like him, please send him some money, by the way, just to get that one in, just in case you missed it. We have James Esses, who is at the Battle of Ideas Festival, naturally, once again dining off the fact that, I don't know, eventually his court case might come round, but of course the longer it's put off, the kind of longer the grift goes on, doesn't it? Anyway, so much he's a staunch supporter of women's rights. Of course he is, and here he is standing next to two women. I'll leave you to have a look at what these two women are primarily associated with, and you can decide for yourself just exactly how much of women's rights and reproductive things that he's particularly interested in. Bless him. Do send him some money, please, yeah? Yes, no sense of history, these people. No sense of any real shame as far as I can make out. I will leave you with a final image from the bearded guy, which I think neatly sums it up. These people don't care anything about anything, and yet they complain about the left's nihilism. And they're quite happy to see entire communities go up in flames, so long as their gig carries on. I don't know. You can decide lots of things about protesters on the streets of London and whether or not they should be holding up particular images or chanting certain things. But after all, that is free speech, and calls to simply the most basest, nasty racism isn't magically going to change that. I'm fully expecting in about a week or so's time for somebody to organise a right-wing march in London, and things will get very nasty at that point, because all of the left-wingers will be horrible to them. Bless them. They're only turning up to chant Nazi stuff and do Nazi salutes. I mean, what's wrong with that? Anyway, do have a lovely rest of the day. Make the most of it. It's currently not raining here, so I'm going to put some bedding on the line. Hurrah for my domestication. Enjoy.